Hey, so the book that I am going to review today is called Breathing Underwater, and it is a pretty good book about this kid named Nick Andreas, and he is the narrator. He's a teenage boy, and it starts off with him in court, and his girlfriend has filed a restraining order against him. And so at first you're like, whoa, you know, what's going on with this guy? But then when he talks, he's talking to, I can't remember who he's talking to in the book. It might be just that he's narrating about it, but he's talking about how he can't believe that, you know, just because they're not together anymore, that Caitlin would stoop to the level of filing a restraining order against him and saying all of these bad things about him. And so you're not really sure what's going on. The book goes back and forth between every other chapter. Nick is telling the story of what's happening right now. And the judge does not believe Nick, and he's very irritated about this, you know, that he got a female judge, and that, of course, she is siding with Caitlin. And he has been ordered to write in a journal about what his relationship with Caitlin was like and how it led to right now, which he feels like, you know, this is pointless because the right now is just happening because Caitlin is being vindictive that they have broken up, and, you know, she wants to move on, and so she's creating this story about him that's like very vicious and obnoxious. So every other chapter is him telling the story of what's going on right now, and then the chapter after that is his journal that takes you back to when he and Caitlin met and started dating. So it just kind of goes back and forth. So there's a lot of room for prediction in this book. There are two different types of prediction. One is short-term prediction, and that's when you're making a prediction of what you're going to read next. And a long-term prediction is like, what do you think is going to happen down the line or toward the end of the book? You know, how do you think it's going to end? Or in general, what do you think is going on? And of course, when you're talking about novels, you know, there's more than one thing going on. So that's not the only story. I mean, Nick meets some people, and, you know, they have some relationship things going on too. And so a lot of opportunities to make long and short-term predictions.
Please call the operator. Missed call. Please call the operator.
You got to know something like that was going to happen while I was recording. Anyway, so as I was reading, one of the short-term predictions that I was reading as I was going through there is that there was more to the story, that we were going to find out that, you know, that Caitlin had a reason to be annoyed with him, and maybe that she had another boyfriend, and so she was trying to get Nick off her case. So that was one of the short-term predictions that I made. And then the long-term prediction that I made was that when they got to the end of the book, that they were going to figure out what was her truth to the story, what was his truth to the story, and that they would both kind of, you know, admit to each other that they had maybe both embellished on either side of the argument. So that is the book, Breathing Underwater. Really good, fast-paced, you know, a couple of things in there that are a little, you know, personal, but a very good read. Thanks.